Hello you guys, welcome to the channel. It's your girl JD here, back with another video. So today we are going to be talking about one specific character. Well, I'm saying character as if it's like a movie or TV show, but I mean it is a TV show, but it's a reality show. We are going to be talking about one cast member on the newest season of Love is Blind. This is their 6th season that is out over on Netflix, and this is going to be about Matthew. And you guys thought that Shake was bad. Okay, I think that was like what, season 3 or 4, somewhere around there. Y'all thought Shake was bad. Okay, no, you have not seen nothing yet. All right, Matthew from this most recent season, okay, is now at the top of the list of types of men to avoid. The red flags just kept popping up all over. So let me tell you why. We're gonna go into his entire storyline while on this show. I don't know if he pops up after episode 6 anymore, but regardless, we are going to be talking about everything that has happened while he was on there. So Matthew, he comes in, if I'm going to be honest, he definitely gave off rude. He asked Jessica a question in their first round of getting to know each other. He doesn't know these women. He's just asking them their names, asking questions. It's kind of like speed dating at first. No one's really connected with anyone just yet. So he asked this woman by the name of Jessica a question. She answers and then asks him the same question in turn. And he says, it's like talking to a wall. Why does he say this? Literally just because she asked him the same question. He did not want to answer questions. He just wanted her to answer his questions. Let's move on. Next, we had Sarah Ann. She was asked one of those questions, the list of questions that he had. And while she's answering, he walks out. He walks out, and at the end, she's just like, hello? No answer. This man walked out mid-conversation without saying anything. Yeah. So to say that he put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths very early on is an understatement. But let's move on. So we have another lady, okay, by the name of AD. And all of a sudden, Matthew doesn't seem so guarded, and immediately he kicks it off with her. So in my mind, I'm like, why? You know, it was just a little too fast for me. So I just was asking, why her? So I'm wondering, did he hear her voice and just think like, oh, she's the perfect victim type of way? Because it just seemed a little too sudden, in my opinion. So at first I tried to give his rudeness a pass, because maybe what I thought was like rude was just him being a quiet person. But then he did some things that made me think my initial thought was the right one. So AD and Matthew, they're talking, and out of nowhere, this man says, I want to leave with you. And if it's not you, then there's no one. There's nobody else here for me. It's just you, okay? We could leave right now. And I'm trying to figure out, leave where? Like, are you trying to propose? Like, I'm trying to figure out what leave. What's happening here? So he doesn't really mention anything about the proposal. He just says, I want to leave with you. But then after that, he says, in terms of us getting married, I would want to ask your dad for permission, because I wouldn't feel comfortable asking you for your hand in marriage unless I ask your dad. So in that moment, AD, she's touched. She's like, oh, that's so cute. That's so sweet. He wants to ask my dad. But then she's honest with him. She's like, I didn't really have a relationship with my dad. But on top of that, he passed away that same year. So there's really no need to do that, because my father's not even around for you to even ask. So tell me why, all the while this girl is on cloud 9, we find out he was saying the exact same things verbatim to the other Amber. Okay, so AD, her initials actually stand for Amber Desiree, but there's another Amber, so they kind of use AD so that they could decipher between the two. He's saying the same things that he said to AD to Amber. Yeah, as if he didn't know women talk. Like, let's be real. You knew they were going to talk at some point and regurgitate what you said.
I had a good date. Who'd you have? Matthew.
So now AD has to confront him, because she's super confused. She's trying to figure out, why would this man lie to me, and on such a level, when we barely even know each other like that yet? We've only been talking for a few days. It's escalating very quickly. We seem to have a connection. What is the point of lying on such a massive scale like that? Why are you selling dreams to the both of us? Basically. So this man then takes that opportunity not to come clean for what he did, but to manipulate her into thinking what he did wasn't that serious in the first place. In the grand scheme of things, it wasn't really that deep. What I did is basically what he was doing. And he also was trying to manipulate her into still chasing after him, basically. And I'm like, this is really bizarre. This man is caught in a lie and doesn't even want to just admit, like, oh yeah, I lied. Oh yeah, this is kind of what ended up happening. I'm sorry. He just plays off of her emotions. This man is selling her so many dreams in a matter of minutes. It's like watching a master at work. It was insane. So he's literally in this moment bringing up how he knows she really wants to be married. And I thought that was so wrong for him to do. Like, he knows that she obviously is there for a reason, and that's to leave with someone and get married. So after that, he says he knows how important the moment is for her when he proposes. And I'm like, why are we even still entertaining the idea of the proposal? So this man then talks about her deceased father. Her deceased father, y'all. And also starts talking about how there's so many people watching them because it's a show. There's going to be a lot of people that see this. And I'm like, why do you care? Why is that important? Like, seriously, dude? Like, are we really talking about it being a show? You know it's a show. You know people are gonna watch this. But at the same time, it's just like, why does that matter? You're here for you. You're here to find someone. But now I don't know if you're going to find someone or leave with anyone because you're lying. After that is when Adie meets up with Clay, who she's been entertaining also on the side. But you could see she was leaning more towards Matthew at the time of him telling her all these nice things. But she dumps all these feelings onto Clay after, of course, Matthew tries to manipulate her into still chasing after him. He freaks out because he's trying to figure out what the heck all of this has to do with him. Speaking of Clay. And I understand why he acted that way, but at the same time, he was another walking red flag in so many other ways. But we're not here to talk about him. We're here to talk about Matthew. So remember when I said at the beginning that I thought he was a super rude person, but then I decided to give him a little bit of a pass because he could just be a really quiet person? Yeah, no. Just rude. Just rude. There was a moment where he forgot his notebook that they give each person that's participating in the show. He left it on the table in front of Clay and another guy by the name of Jamal. So Jamal tells him he left it on the table and he hands it over to Matthew. And Matthew just grabs it and walks away without saying thank you. You could hear Jamal basically say, "You're welcome," and there's no answer.
Matthew, your book is here, sir. You're welcome.
I'm just like, wow, interesting. Okay. So yeah, I would not want to date a man that treats others like that. That's very trashy to me. So Matthew decides to come back a fourth time. I think this might have been the fourth or fifth time that they're talking to each other. He comes back to talk to AD after Amber leaves because unlike Matthew, she feels bad about the situation and didn't want to be in the middle of them and their thing that they had going on. And she decides to leave even though she wasn't the one that did anything wrong, which I think is crazy. I would have been like, girl, if you don't stay on this show and try to find someone else to talk to, clearly Matthew ain't it. But, you know, whatever. She decided to leave. So Matthew finds out that she left. He's talking to AD. And he could tell pretty quickly that that ship had sailed because she could tell how thick he was trying to lay on those manipulative tactics in their previous meeting. And she wasn't having it. It was like, no, I'm good on this. So this man decides to start crying or make himself cry. Let's say that, because I did not see one tear leave his eyeballs or eye sockets, whatever. He did not cry. There was no tears. Okay, I heard him sniffling, but he was not crying. Stop it. He says he's getting emotional because he feels like he broke Amber's heart and now he was going to do the same thing to AD. And AD is just sitting there like, sir, cut the BS now. You know, all of us, I think, was AD in that moment. Like, come on. We both know, we all know you are not distraught in this moment. Cut it out. So he leaves the pod because he knew good and darn well he wasn't getting anywhere with AD because she saw right through the foolery. And at the end of it all, you know what this man had the audacity to say? He says, well, I'm going after Amber now. My jaw was on the floor. I honestly hope Amber pays that man dust if he actually tries to reach out to her. But from what I gathered while she was on the show in terms of her personality, she'd probably cave and respond. But I was just so floored by this man. I've never seen anyone this cold and calculated before on this show. He is a menace. And I'm used to seeing it on shows like Married at First Sight, which I need to start watching again. Y'all, you'd have to let me know if you want me to do any videos on that, because these seasons have been getting wilder and wilder by the minute. So y'all let me know in the comments if y'all want me to make any videos on those. But Matthew was kind of like one of those walking red flags that kind of fly under the radar at first, and you don't really notice them until after they caused a good bit of damage. And they are the worst ones. You're here thinking, oh, I'm changing him. Because, you know, us women, we're just like, yeah, he's a tough guy, has like a cold exterior, but I warm his heart. You know, I cut through that little exterior. I'm the special one. And you realize you're not that special. He's talking and saying the same thing to another girl. Ironically, with the same name. They're both Ambers. I just think that's so wild. But yeah, he's honestly one of those that it's just like, did that really just happen? Like, I was not expecting that. But I think ultimately it kind of goes to show that when you have like that first impression about someone, the first impression is usually right. Like how I said, I really did try to give him a pass because I thought he was just quiet and not really like rude necessarily. Yeah, he was rude. He was rude because I thought he was rude in the beginning, but I was like, oh, well, maybe not. No. Yeah. Yes. But y'all let me know your thoughts on Matthew down in the comments. I think he's honestly one of the worst contestants I've ever seen on this show. And I've seen so many strange people on this show. It's been 6 seasons of madness. I mean, the 5th season doesn't really count in my mind because it was bad. But yeah. Y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.